Hello, everybody. I'm hoping you're having a great day. Today, we are back on the charts. So, we got this new setup. We got this laptop. I'm in my barracks currently. We have a very crappy microphone, a very crappy camera. So, I'll probably look like a bunch of pixels, but it's whatever. I have to get out this information. We're going to upgrade this stuff later, and we'll start putting out more quality YouTube videos for all of you. Now, I wanted to make a video on some indicators that you can use as a complete beginner in day trading and kind of what I look at roughly when I'm looking for plays. So, those of you that are in my Discord, you know that we killed it this week. Like we had 15-20% returns every single day. Some of our plays were up over 100%. We destroyed it this week. We only had one loss towards the very end of today, which kind of sucked. It would have been a win if I held on to it, but I didn't because I don't want to lose too much. My risk management kicked in. But yeah, we destroyed this week. And let's take a look at what I kind of look at when I'm looking for plays. So starting off, we are on TradingView. So if you don't have this, just go to tradingview.com and you'll be able to get this or just download TradingView on your phone. There's a free version that you can use. It works all right, especially when you're beginning. Otherwise, like the next mode's a couple bucks, like 15 or something. I don't remember. But we're going to talk about first support and resistance. So this is something very important that we have to understand when we're trading. So your support and resistance zones are going to be where price seems to come down to and bounces, and where price seems to come up to and bounces back down. So if we look at our support levels, it's going to be at the bottom. It's in the name support. So when it hits those levels, typically it bounces back up. And we can see that kind of all right here, right? So we have a very rough support level going right here. And then on the shorter term, we have a support level kind of like right here, but that's not a very strong support. Wouldn't really trust that too much. But this is what we're looking like on the hourly. And then we can see that we have another one kind of right here. Looks like we hit it a few times, bounced from it, hit it a few times, and this is where price seems to keep coming back to, seems to enjoy. Then we have one more right here. We have a resistance level right here. Now, the reason that support and resistance levels are very important is because we do not want to trade if it is testing this support level and we think it's going to go down. We have to wait for it to break the support and show signs of actually going down, right? Just like right here, we don't know if it's going to hit the resistance, bounce back down. We don't know if it's going to hit the support, bounce up. We don't know if it's going to break through this resistance, hit the next resistance. We have no idea what's going to happen. So we kind of have to look at what price is doing and how it's hitting off of these, right? So if we see price come down, let's say it comes down and it hits this support level, right? And then it just bounces a little bit, hits this level, and it bounces more. On this next bounce, we might be looking for calls, right? Because it has tested the support. It's showing signs of not wanting to break through it. So we might be looking for calls. Same thing with resistance. If it hits, let's say it hits, hold on a second. Let's say it hits resistance, right? So it goes up here, it tests this resistance level, and it just massively breaks through it. We're like, oh, sweet, awesome. And then it comes up and it tests this next resistance level. And then it starts failing, right? So it tests it, it looks like it's about to break out, comes right back down and crashes. Now when it starts coming back down, we might look for puts. So that's kind of how support and resistance looks. You've got to set those levels. If you're more of a day trader, you're going to look at those different time frames. So every single one of these candles represents a different time frame. You probably know that. But if we're a day trader like me or a scalper, which is where you're in and out of plays very quickly, we're going to look at the 15-minute chart, set up our support and resistance this way. So we can see that we got some resistance lines going right here, another one down here. support lines. I don't know if I said resistance. Then we got a resistance line up here. And we can set up all of those zones so then we are aware for the day of where price might go. As far as indicators, if we go over the little indicators tab, we can actually type in EMA. And if we put in the moving average exponential, we click on that. We now have the 9 EMA, which means this shows the average price of the last 9 closing days. Or, yeah, 9 closing prices. So if we take a look at this little blue line, you can actually make it a little bit more visible if you want to. We can click on this, go settings, and then we can change the visibility or the style to like a red line or something. It's a little bit more visible. But if we're looking at the 15-minute chart, what we can tell is that if it is under this moving average, we're not going to look for calls because it is currently in a downtrend, right? So if we are below this line, we're not going to look for calls. If we close above this line, like this massive green candle, we can start considering calls, but let's take a better look at it. So we can see right here, it was kind of moving on the line, not really doing much, dropped massively below it, dropped massive, and then all of a sudden one opened. So we might be looking for calls now because we moved above that moving average line. And then you can see it had a massive uptracement. Another example, this one closed above the line. We had a quick pump up. That'd be a quick scalp play, pretty good. And then right here, we can see we started to shift over above the line, had a quick pump up. Now, this isn't super accurate, but it can give you a rough idea, right? We had a close below, switches from being above it to below it, and then we had a downtrend, right? Now, it's not super accurate, but if we see that it's looking good on the 15, we might want to take a look at it on the 5 as well. So we see that right now it's above, it's closed above, it's looking okay. Now we're actually in after hours, so this isn't too good, but whatever. So we go to the 5-minute chart. We can see that we're also still above it. We go to the 1-minute chart, and then you can see we are also still above it. So we are currently going into an uptrend according to this chart. But you want to make sure that the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 15-minute all line up, especially if you're a scalper or a day trader like me. And another indicator that we can add to help pair it with this, because we don't want to just rely on one indicator because they're not always accurate. Most of the time, they aren't always the best to use, but they can give us a rough idea. So we type in MACD, moving average convergence divergence. So we click that. This can give us a rough idea of kind of what's going on, like what people are thinking, right? So if we see these massive green uptrends, right, like it starts ticking, it's going up every time, we can expect that price is increasing. We saw a massive increase right here. Then as soon as it gets to a lighter shade and we see it start moving slowly back down and it starts moving into red, we might look for puts. And then we can see it goes down, massive, and then when it starts moving over again, we might consider getting out. Because if we line this up with right here, we can see that we are no longer above that moving average. We are now below the moving average. So that is one sign. Then another sign is also that we are starting to see this go back to the upside. So we know that price is going to start increasing on us. So we're going to look to get out of any puts that we might have. Same thing right here. You can see it move up very fast. And then as soon as it starts showing signs of slowing down, you can see it comes back down and it breaks that EMA and we are no longer in calls. But yeah, that's kind of the very basics of how you can look at charts if you're a beginner. I try to keep things simple for you guys, especially today. I don't want to go too in depth with anything. But these are two really good indicators that we can use to start our day trading journey, and make sure you just practice drawing support and resistance lines. You can go to any chart, you can go to just anything, like go to anything and then go on to the 15-minute or the hourly or whatever, and just look to draw these lines, right? Just look to get support lines, figure out where those lines are. There might be multiple support zones and resistance zones. We're going to look for things like that. That's pretty much all I have anyways. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. Remember, free Discord. We post absolutely every play that we get into. So if you want to see what we're doing on a daily basis and you want to learn from that, or you want to ask questions in the Discord community, please consider joining. That's all I have for today. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys back on Monday.